welcome back. I'm Di, and today I am bringing you my first impressions on the Irish Village mystery series by Carlene O'Connor. The first book is called Murder in an Irish Village. This was the Book One Cozies Club pick for the month of April. As the story opens, we meet Siobhan O'Sullivan. She is helping to raise her 5 other siblings in the aftermath of her parents' death. They were killed by a drunk driver about a year prior to where this story opens up. While she is around town running her errands, she runs into the brother of the man who killed her parents. This man is in prison, but the brother comes to her and tells her that he has evidence that his brother did not cause the accident that killed her parents. She finds this preposterous, and when she further asks him to leave her alone, he tells her that he will give her the proof that he has in exchange for a sum of money. He is trying to use the sum of money to get his brother out of prison. She tells him, "You're preposterous," and kind of leaves it at that. Later in the day, while she's back at her bistro helping out, this man walks into the bistro and again tries to ask her for money in exchange for this proof. Now, because he has shown up at the family bistro, all of her other siblings know that he's in town and appropriately get riled up about it. Most of all is her brother James, and he basically gets really upset and walks out of the bistro. That night, James doesn't come back to the family home. The next morning, after Siobhan goes out for a run, she comes back to the bistro to find her younger siblings making breakfast at the bistro. And as she goes out to start getting ready for the day, she sees a man sitting in the eatery area of the restaurant. When she goes to tell him, "Hey, we're not open yet," she finds that it is the brother of the man who killed her parents, but he has also been killed. He is sitting in the restaurant with a pair of pink scissors sticking out of his chest. Her brother James is still nowhere to be found. He still has not come back. They don't know where he is. And it comes out that the night before, he had gotten drunk at the local bar and had gotten into a scuffle with this man. So now James has become the primary suspect in this man's murder. And as the evidence starts piling up against him, Siobhan decides to take it into her own hands and investigate who killed the brother of the man who killed her parents. I have to say that I really enjoyed this one. There were definitely times where Siobhan's investigative style bothered me a little bit, especially when she's talking to the local police officer, who she kind of has some romantic feelings towards, and he also has romantic feelings towards her, and she will go and investigate something and will find out information, immediately go and tell him, and he's like, "You really need to step off, stay out of it, leave this to the professionals," and then she'll just talk right over him and continue saying, what she wanted to say. That got a little bit tiring a few times. I mean, I can understand why she's so invested in this one, especially because it's her brother. Her family is a pretty close unit. They call them the O'Sullivan Six. She knows her brother couldn't have done this, even if he was really upset with this guy. And even if he's the brother of the guy who killed their parents, she knows that he couldn't have done it. But the evidence is basically saying that he was the one to do it. So I can definitely see why she's so passionate about this investigation. But still, the way she talked to the police officer / her romantic interest was just like, come on. I also enjoyed the fact that she involved her siblings in some of the investigations she did. They obviously all have a stake in it because it's their brother who's the suspect, but also because of the relationship of the victim to their parents' death. Some of the siblings are younger and they're appropriately, getting into mischief and using their kind of mischievous ways to help divert attention while Siobhan's trying to find the information that she's looking for. And then there's also a facet to this where one of the younger sisters kind of has more of a tie-in to the victim than Siobhan had even known up until this point. So having all of the family involved in this was really interesting as well. For me, this story kind of just moved on its own. I just kept turning the pages like the pages turn themselves. I had kind of a slumpish reading month in April with everything that was going on. Things kind of affect people in different ways. And for me, while my life really hasn't changed too much other than the fact that I am working at home. Obviously, this is a new filming area. And I had mentioned to you kind of what was going on in my March Mystery Madness wrap-up. In April, I really hadn't read too much. Going from 5 or 6 books a month plus manga, I had gone down to 1 book and 2 volumes of manga in April, and that's all I read. I ended up picking this one up towards the end of April, so I didn't actually finish until May. But I really enjoyed this one. I don't know if it was just being out of reading for so long, or how kind of refreshing the story was to me. And like I said, the pages kind of just turned themselves. It was very easy to read. I found myself just saying, okay, just another chapter, several times while I was reading this. And it's not because I just really wanted to know what was going to happen next. The story didn't really have that kind of suspense factor to it. But I just enjoyed seeing Siobhan investigate, finding out little things about the characters in her town, and kind of the information that she picked up. We're definitely thrown several different possibilities as to suspects, and not being aware of who actually was the suspect was another refreshing point for me, because for a while now, several of the mysteries I've read, I've known who the killer was, and that kind of takes the fun out of reading mysteries for me, to be honest. And this one, I didn't know who the killer was until it was revealed, and so that was another thing that really excited me about this book. This book also includes a pronunciations and glossary section at the very beginning of the book that tells you how to pronounce the Irish names, which I thought was really, really helpful, especially because with Irish names, they're a lot of times spelled different than how you would pronounce them. My only regret in reading this physically is that I would think that the audiobook version would have some of that Irish accent available, and I really enjoy listening to Irish accents. So I will definitely be continuing on with this series. I think I will be trying an audiobook for the second one, though. And the second one happens at a wedding. I believe it's called Murder at an Irish Wedding. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. We'll definitely be continuing, and I hope that you will check this one out as well. Like I said, this was the Book One Cozies Club pick for the month of April, so the discussion thread is up in the Mystery Madness Goodreads group. All of the links are down in the description box below, so let me know if you are reading this one or have read this one, what you think of it, and I will talk to you next time. I hope that you are all doing great. I hope you are all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.